the American dream. And and uh, and you also said something about communist czars. First of all, I want definitions. What's the American dream? Because I have a compensatory definition on page 13 of my word guide about what the American dream is and or should be in the minds of everybody throughout the world. And it goes directly to racism, but this is just strictly Fuller's suggestion about what the American dream is. It says, use the term to mean replace white supremacy with justice. That should be the American dream. Why? Based on logic. Because the biggest impediment on this planet to the practice of justice, justice meaning guaranteeing that no person is mistreated and guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help in every area of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. So the American dream, logically speaking, in a compensatory fashion, meaning making up for what's missing. And what's missing is the dream hasn't been realized. So the first thing you would equate the American dream with is justice. Justice meaning just what I said it was, in a logical sense, in a compensatory sense, guaranteeing that no person is mistreated and guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help in all areas of activity. But in order to do that, the biggest impediment, a question is raised, what's holding up the dream from being realized? Martin Luther King said it was racism. Most people who examine everything in detail say, yes, it's racism. There are all kinds of seminars that are being held right now. There are being trials being held, and people being locked up, and people being released, and all about discussions about racism. People have to have conferences constantly, and they come away shaking their heads saying, what can we do about racism? Racism in what form? Who's practicing racism? Well, last time I checked, it was what we might call the system of white supremacy. That's the only form of functional racism on the planet. So in order to realize the American dream, you have to get rid of racism. So I would have to ask Mr. Nugent, do you mean by retaining the American dream or being able to keep it or to realize it, to take it from a dream to reality, get rid of the system of white supremacy, then we would be on the same page. But if he's talking about something else, then he would explain what that something else is. I'm not going to put words in his mouth. He seems to be quite gifted in explaining himself and what he means, so I won't help him with that. I would just simply ask, what do you mean, Mr. Nugent, when you say you want to recapture or you want to retain or you want to take back the American dream? Not that anybody can steal a dream. I don't see how you can steal a dream, but maybe you can. Mr. Nugent can probably explain that. Then he used another word called communism or communist czars. Well, now, if I'm accusing someone of being a communist czar, that's supposed to be serious, I've been told. So the first thing you want to know is, what is a communist? And what is a communist czar? And what is the evidence that the communist czar is doing whatever a communist czar does, and whether or not that is something that shouldn't be done? But first of all, you have to have a definition for what you're talking about if you're going to have clarity and focus. Now, I would just start with those two words.